My friend who was right next to me, I asked him, "Arey, did you see that old man? His eyes were so mesmerizing." So he said, "Who old man? There was nobody here." I said, He was standing in between us. I gave him some money for food, and so he said, no, I didn't see anybody." After a month and 10 days or maybe 15 days, he came back. I was sitting in the chair, and the moment I went and sat in the chair, he was in front of me. So I asked him, "Baba, what's this? You asked me to wake up at 3 a.m. Abhi ek mahina ho gaya. I'm just coming, sitting here, and you are arriving now after a month." So, greatest myth is that we are human beings seeking a spiritual experience. But if you just turn around this statement, if you look at yourself as a spiritual being in a human experience, so that changes that this paradigm shift will change the whole idea of spirituality.
When one thinks of Shirdi Sai Baba, you get a certain image in front of you. You hear of so many mysteries, so many miracles. He's perhaps one of the most benevolent saint. Even today, miracles are performed, people get darshan, all sorts of good things are happening. But Shantanda not just got darshan from Baba, but he became Shantanda's guru. And he taught Shantanda for several years, turned his life. And Shantanda will tell us about it. Shantanda, Shantanu Sugwekar, Shantanda. Namaste, Shantanda. Welcome to Cafe Indians.
Om Sai Ram.
So I'll jump straight into the first question. How did this cricketer, Shantanda, just coming back to a very brief introduction, Shantanda is better known as a cricketer. He was a Ranji captain 3 times, and he played county cricket as well here in the UK. So if you type Shantanu Sugwekar, you'll find Wikipedia pages talking about his cricketing career, but there is also this spiritual side to him. So Shantanda, how did this cricketer, a really accomplished cricketer, turn his life and become a mystic?
To start with, I wouldn't say I'm a mystic, but when I left cricket, when I quit cricket, that was in 2002. So I was working in Mumbai for a company called Sangres Mafatla. Working means I was playing cricket for them. It was like a professional cricketer's job, and been working for them for 14 years. And after quitting the game, I also quit the company. So I thought I don't want to live in Mumbai anymore. I want to
Right.
come back to Pune, settle down in Pune, and so I started looking for a job in Pune. And before looking for a job, I actually quit the company and came back to Pune. So I thought I might get a job, good enough job to, survive in Pune. But somehow things didn't work out for me then. And I had quit cricket, I had quit my job, and, had a family, have a family. And since 2002 till 2007, I was struggling like anything. I mean, that was those 5 years were, I wouldn't say the worst 5 years, but there was a lot of struggle and, all the things in life, financially and sort of. In 2006, I remember I had a dream, and I was walking aimlessly in a desert, not finding the way out. I was tired, I was hungry, I was, starving completely, and I was just walking around. And I saw a tree, and I sat under that tree. I sat under that tree, and I suddenly started smelling chillim.
Oh,
All the Sadhgurus smoke chillim. And so I just looked to the side, and there was Shri Gajanan Maharaj sitting there. So
oh.
he was smoking the chillim. So I got down and held his feet tightly. And I said, Maharaj, I can't find a way out of this mess. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. And you just show me the path. That time he said that I am not your guru, but in 1 year's time, exactly in 1 year's time, your guru will come into your life and he will show you the path.
Ah.
And in 2006 September, exactly after 1 year, Sai Baba came into my life. And that's when the journey started.
अमेझिंग. डोळ्यात पाणी येतं आता तुम्ही ती स्टोरी सांगताय. सो पण क्रिकेट का सोडलं होतं तेव्हा? वाय डिड यू लीव क्रिकेट ॲट दॅट पॉइंट?
Uh, I was not enjoying the game.
ओके.
म्हणजे मी खूप रन्स केल्या पण इंडियाला खेळ सिलेक्ट होत नव्हतो. सो आय जस्ट थॉट कोणतरी यंगस्टर येऊन त्याला चान्स मिळेल रणजी
राईट.
ट्रॉफी खेळायला.
यू वर
सो
गेटिंग अ बिट.
म्हणून मी सोडलं. हा, की यू प्ले द गेम टू एन्जॉय द गेम.
येस.
So that enjoyment part was completely out of it. So I just left it. I
कनेक्शन.
could have played 3, 4 more years easily,
या.
but somehow I just felt that I should quit now.
Passion was
So
going.
yeah.
So of course, naturally, the next question is, in a year's time, Gajanan Maharaj's words came true. Um,
Mm.
so you were sort of prepared for this, but tell us the story.
So I wasn't really prepared for this, I would say, because I wouldn't say I was a Nastic or an atheist, but I was never inclined towards, God or religion or spirituality or whatever you might want to call it. So I just, yeah, thought I had a dream. He said something. It might come true, it may not come true. But exactly in September, I remember we all cricketers get together at a joint called Rupali in Pune. That's on the Ferguson College Road, which is a very famous joint. So we get together there on a Sunday for a cup of coffee, and then for an hour or so, 11 to 12, we used to be there. So we just came out of the hotel, and we were standing on the footpath, just talking to each other before leaving. And somebody held my hand from behind, my elbow. Somebody held my elbow, and so I looked back, and there was this old man, very bright and mesmerizing eyes he had. And the moment I looked into his eyes, I was completely, I don't know, I don't remember what happened to me, but I just kept on looking at him. And he said, in Marathi, he said, बाला मला भूक लागली. मला जेवायला घालशील का? So he said, I'm very hungry, so can you feed me? So I said, okay, I can do that, no problem at all. I mean, there was no resistance at all. I asked him, do you want me to come with you and you have your food, or shall I give you money and you'll eat on your own? So he said, no, no, don't worry. Give me money. You go home. Your mother must be waiting for you. So you go home and I'll eat. You give me money. So I gave him some money, about 100 rupees note I gave him. And he took the money and just raised his hand. And the smile on his face was like very compassionate and so loving, and his eyes were really pouring love. It was absolutely a completely different experience of love, I would say. You know, I don't know. We humans never experience that kind of love at all. And he just raised his hand, smiled, and started walking towards good luck. There's a chowk called Good Luck. And my friend who was right next to me, I asked him, did you see that old man here? His eyes were so mesmerizing. So he said, who old man? There was nobody here. I said, he was standing in between us. I gave him some money for food, and
And this friend was
he
sitting,
just
standing next to you.
next to you. And so he said, no, I didn't see anybody like that. So I asked a friend who was standing in opposite to me, and he had a complete view of what was happening uh, at my side. So I asked him, so he also said, no, there was no one there. There was no
They
old man
hear
like
you
you are
talking, they didn't
describing.
hear you even have a conversation.
Nahin, हाँ.
Wow.
So, so I was completely zapped. I said, what's happening? I mean, I didn't believe it. Okay. They are saying no, but I gave him money. I spoke to him. He smiled, he blessed. And so I turned around to see if he was really there. Somebody like him was really there. So the moment I turned around, he must have walked about 25, 30 feet from there down the road. The moment I turned around, that old man turned around from there to look at me. And at that time, instead of that old man, Shri Sai Baba was standing there in his place. And he just smiled from there, again raised his hand, and it just disappeared. And I don't know what happened after that. I just came back home and I was completely, I don't know what was happening. I was so heavy. My body and my head and everything felt so, so heavy. Maybe because of his energy, coming into me. And I slept at around 1 o'clock when I came back and woke up at 7:30 in the evening. I mean, I was that heavy. So when I woke up, my mom asked, "Arey, what's wrong with you? Are you not feeling well?" So I told her that something like that happened. This happened. So I asked her, "Is it possible? ऐसा कुछ होता है?" She said, "Yeah, yeah, anything is possible. If you have the blessings, anything is possible." So I said, "Okay, fine. It must have happened." So I just left it at that. Since I was not a great believer or something, I just left it at that. Yeah, it was a different experience, and I was happy about that. Because that's it, nothing else.
Two things strike before we continue with the journey, because obviously then you've told me that he kept coming back and teaching you. One, he said your mom must be waiting for you, so he knew that your mother
Hmm.
is waiting for you at home. Secondly, I don't know, is this speculation? But when he took that 100 rupees off you, was
Hmm.
it a sort of dakshina? Was it a sort of beginning
No,
of your?
not really. I don't. That time I didn't realize anything actually.
Okay.
Because I just gave him the money. He asked for money, I just gave him the money. That nothing like. I mean, even after that, also, I don't think I thought about it like he asked for dakshina and anything like that.
Hmm.
So he just asked me for money for some food, and I gave it to him. That's it. Baki, nothing else.
So you were completely unprepared for this and you just took it as theek hai, ho gaya. But then what happened? So on a sort of mystic spiritual level, as well as how did things change in your life? Was that the turning point where
Hmm.
professionally things started to happen?
No, that time, even in the evening, when I went to bed, I was just thinking about what happened during that day. And there were many doubts, as you said, there are so many doubts because we are not into it and we don't know anything about it. So you always tend to doubt those situations or events that happen in your life. So I slept in a doubt. Something like this happened. It also doesn't happen. It's okay. It happened. But I am not still a firm believer that that happened, sort of a thing. Like, so I slept and Baba came into my dreams again. And then he told me it was me who came and don't doubt it. And now you and me have to start this journey together and I'll take you through this journey forward. And then my doubts were completely clear.
Right.
Next day morning when I woke up, I had I mean, not a percentage of doubt that he was not with me, like, you know.
Hmm.
So that's how it started. And then after that, I think for a month or so, there was nothing. I mean, everything was like routine life happening. And during that month, I got a job.
Oh,
I got a job in the school where I work now. And I started working in the school and, maybe month and a half, I settled down job and everything settled down well. And then he came back again in my dream. And then he said that from tomorrow onwards, you have to wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning and do whatever I tell you to do. So I
wow.
thought, "ठीक है, okay." I said, okay. I mean, if you're saying so, then I'll do it because I completely believe in you. And so next morning, I woke up at 3 a.m. And we are not used to, waking up at 3 a.m. and do whatever meditations or anything or any other sadhanas or anything. Because so I just woke up and you know, stayed there. I mean, I went into the living room, sat on the chair, and just waited there for him to come. Well, it was 4 a.m., then 5 a.m., 6 a.m.,
Oh,
7 a.m. Nobody arrived. So I was
oh,
just waiting for him there, sitting in the chair.
there was no break
So,
ke baad.
so I just, stayed there and at 7 o'clock, then I got up and I did my morning yeah, and I went to the school. After that also, I never doubted him. In spite of him not coming, I never doubted him. He has told me, but was it really true or something or
Hmm.
like that? He told me to get up at 3 a.m. I got up at 3 a.m., waited for him, but he was not there. It's okay. Might have some other work maybe. So came back. Then again next morning 3 a.m. I woke up. I had my bath.
Oh,
Then
so
I
he
went.
said from now on, just start waking up at 3 o'clock.
Now
Oh,
you start doing that.
okay.
So I kept on waking up at 3 a.m. I used to sit in the chair. And that time there was no mandir in our house. Sort of a mandir means
Yeah.
Baba's mandir or anything. Yeah,
Yes.
the normal which we have, a family mandir chota sa, where you have Mahalakshmi and I didn't even have a Baba's photo or anything with me. So I just used to wake up in the morning, sit there, wait for him, and then go to school. So it kept on happening for a month and 10 days or something, and I got used to it so much. I just got into that habit of waking up at 3 a.m., taking a bath and waiting for him.
Yeah.
So after a month and 10 days or maybe 15 days, he came back. I was sitting in the chair, and but the moment I went and sat in the chair, he was in front of me.
Mm.
I asked him, Baba, what's this? You asked me to wake up at 3 a.m. Abhi ek mahina ho gaya. I'm just coming, sitting here, and you are arriving now after a month. I started laughing.
Oh,
He said, no, no, this was an exercise for you to get into habit of waking up at 3 a.m. and sitting there. So I got you into that habit, and now our next step will start. So
right,
we kept on doing that, and then taught me. First, he taught me a prayer.
right.
He taught me what a prayer is, why you should pray, how you should pray. So it started with a prayer, and I've been doing that since that day, and it works wonders. I mean, prayers really do miracles. The way he taught and the reasons he used to give behind the spiritual reasons, and how the energy works for you when you pray in the right way, and you know so it started with a prayer, and then we slowly and we switched on to meditations, different type of meditation, how to do and why you should do a certain type of meditation. Some kriya, like Babaji, you said, Mahavatar Babaji was the pioneer in that. He started Kriya Yoga. I think it started with that, and it just kept on happening. I got into the habit more and more, more and more. And then later on, whenever required, he used to come there when I used to get perfect in the step he had told. Then for the next step, he used to come and tell me that now you start doing this. So it
Right.
started like that. And in between, we used to have conversations sometimes like what spirituality actually is. What do you really mean by being spiritual?
Mm.
How to go about it? How to, work yourself towards your salvation?
Mm.
So that's how it all started. And then it was more like a conversation rather than, so he teaching me and I being his shishya or something like that. Of course, he is a guru, he is a sadguru, not just guru, he is a sadguru. But that's how it was. It kept on going and going, and he just started opening all the spiritual gems, I would say, and we used to talk, discuss. I used to ask questions, he used to answer. Sometimes he just kept on talking, and I used to sit and listen. Sometimes I talked a lot much. He used to sit and listen. So it was more like, I would say, a friendly relationship rather than guru and shishya.
Mm.
Since 2007, when he came into my life, till 2015 almost, I was completely cut off from social life. I mean, I never went out, I never socialized, I never, very rarely met friends or even relatives for that matter, family functions. I hardly used to go out. When I used
Mm.
to come back from the office at 3:30 in the afternoon, 3:30, 4 o'clock, in the evening at 7 I started I used to start doing whatever prayers he had told me, and in the evening, and in the morning I used to get up and do meditations and whatever he had told me. I just kept on doing that. So
Mm.
those 7-8 years of my life were completely like zero contact with social world.
Mm.
Whatever people used to meet me in the office, or used to meet people in the office, that was the only contact I had with people. Otherwise, only family, home, and all the meditations he taught me. I just kept on doing that.
It was almost like living in a modern cave.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Mm.
And the only thing that happened during that time was, of course, I learned a lot from him. I implemented a lot of things what he had told, and I got the experiences accordingly. And he always used to say, in the first meeting, when we started the first step, the prayer step, The first thing he told me that you don't do this because I am telling you to do this.
Mm.
You reason it out, you think about it. If you feel this is right, then only you do it. Because
Mm.
it's your life, it's your karma, and I'm not going to interfere in that. You have a free will, you have a choice. You will reach wherever I want you to reach. You're always going to reach there, and everybody will reach there. Every single soul on this planet will reach that destination one day or the other. Maybe not this lifetime, maybe some other lifetimes. But if you do these things, you will reach there in 4 days, or if you don't do, it will take 40 days. That's the, I mean, that was the timeline he told me. Okay, इतने दिन में होगा नहीं तो इतने दिन लगेंगे. So and see whatever any Sadguru tells you, there is nothing to doubt about it. I mean, you don't reason that. We know in our hearts that no, he is there. He is going to show us the path. He is going to take us ahead. So
Mm.
you automatically start doing it. So there was no this thing doubt in
Doubt.
my mind that I would not do this or I will do this.
So this process of teaching, was it mainly various meditations, or was it and
There were
kriyas, or
some meditations, and mostly it was conversations. More than meditations, it was conversation. Meditations were now every person is a different identity. Every
Hmm.
person is unique. Every person has his own habit, his own nature. So you teach that person as per the nature of that person. My nature maybe was not like sitting for meditation for long hours, and so we used to converse more. That was more comfortable for us. So but meditations, why? Because you need to cleanse your body first thing, due to some kriyas, and by that. So once the cleansing is done, you are more able, more sensitive to experience what you are learning from the Guru. So that was the main crux behind those meditations. Not like now meditation is your path. Right? That was not like that.
because of course, once in the past when we were talking about this, you said to me that all of these are tools. So
Yeah,
your goal is not meditation. The goal is to
yeah,
go to that to
yeah.
that.
To reach the ultimate reality,
Yes,
or the absolute reality, you might say.
yes. Do you get glimpses of this absolute reality, or is it always there, or can you define
See,
it?
absolute reality is completely, I would say, impossible to define or describe. Being spiritual itself means that you experience those things rather than knowing those things.
Hmm.
It's all about experience. It's all about human experience, and you have to experience those things to really understand those things. I wouldn't say that just knowledge would take you there, but knowledge is, as we talked that day, knowledge is one of the tools which can take you there. Having knowledge is one thing, and having an experience is a completely other thing. It's a completely different ballgame. Knowledge, though, a lot of people have knowledge. They keep reading books, and they attend satsangs, they hear a lot of things, and but knowledge, but that is just information. I wouldn't even call knowledge. You read a Bhagavad Gita, you get information. But you call it knowledge because you have read it. But again, if you don't implement that, it's just an information you get, nothing else. So use the knowledge as a tool to reach to your final destination. That sort of a thing. As I said, you cannot describe it unless you experience it. But when you experience it, it is so vast, it is so amazing, and it is so quiet and silent that there is no word to describe it. How can I put something which is infinite, which is silent, which is peaceful, which is blissful in words? It is not possible. You can only understand maybe just a bit of it from what I'm trying to tell. I mean, I'm just trying to tell. I am not even attempting to give you the description of whatever it is, what the absolute reality is. We know that everything came from nothingness. So there is nothing. Basically, there is nothing. The reality is nothing. And everything has to go back to nothingness. So the creation starts from there and the creation ends also there. So how can you describe nothingness? So it's so hard to describe.
You describe nothing as everything, and then you get into this debate of
Yeah.
Is it everything
The
on a
moment you come into everything, you have so many things to describe, you have so many things to say. It's complete total bliss, as we say. Permanent, जिसको बोलते हैं ना, it's permanent, which is permanent, which is the blissful part of the absolute reality.
So did you start experiencing this absolute reality consciousness, whatever you bliss? Did you start experiencing it as soon as you started with Baba, or
No, no, no. It was a long journey. I had to really work hard for it. I had to really keep practicing what he was teaching me. Because unless and until there are many concepts in life that, unless and until you practice those, you cannot experience those. Like we said, knowing is one thing and experiencing is a completely different ball. So you have to practice that. You have to practice it.
So as part of his instruction, would he also say, go read this book or go meet this person?
No, he has never told me to read any book.
Okay.
In fact, I would tell you a great experience. One of my friends, he had come to the school to meet me, and he is also a cyber. So
Okay.
while coming back, he was sitting in my car, and we were talking about Baba, and he said, "Arey, you must have read Sai Satcharitra so many times. You must have done parayans of Sai Satcharitra since you are Baba's book." So I said, "No, I haven't even seen Sai Satcharitra so far." And this was sometime in 2016, long time after Baba came into my life. But he never told me to read Sai Satcharitra during
Yes.
that time also, or any other book rather, not just Sai Satcharitra, but any other book. So I said, no, Ray, I haven't even seen Sai Satcharitra, right? But see, let's see if Baba wills. It's Baba's will. If he wants me to read it, I'll get it and I'll read it. Suddenly I received a phone call. So the person who called me said, Sir, where are you right now? I said, I'm just traveling down the Chandni Chowk. Ah, so he said, great. So can you come to Yashwantrao Chavan Sabhagruha? So I said, yes. So what? No, I've just come from Shirdi and I've got something for you. So I went there and he gave me a bag. So I took the bag, I just saw, and there was Sai Satcharitra in it.
Oh.
45 minutes ago, we were talking about Sai Satcharitra, and I said, it's Baba's will, agar unko chahiye to bhej denge. And in 45 minutes, I got Sai Satcharitra right from Shirdi in my hand. My
Oh.
friend was so zapped. He said, अरे ये कैसे होता है? मैं बोला, I just बोला मैंने और बाबा ने भेज दिया. अभी what can I say? Na? So I came home. I kept that Sai Satcharitra in front of Baba. I said, Baba, you know my nature. Reading वगैरह मेरे से कुछ होगा नहीं because I am not into reading at all. Since I willed it, you sent it to me, but I don't think I'll be able to read this. So he said, कुछ नहीं होता है वो अध्याय 21 अध्याय पढ़ लेना अध्याय number 21 chapter number 21 you read and you keep it. So that day I read that one chapter and I kept it and it's lying there since that day. So that's how it works, I mean, but again, this is a tool. We come back to the same thing. There are so many tools you have in life. In fact, everything in life is a tool to experience, you know, things in different ways.
So I remember when we were first talking about all of this, I said, how do you, first, is Guru important? And how do you find your Guru? And you kept telling me, just be, just be, just be. I kept telling you in Marathi, कळतंय पण वळत नाहीये. So I understand what you're saying, but I can't actually physically do. I'm not able to, it's not really sinking in. And then after my latest Kailash Yatra, the questions dissolved. So like you said, ki without that experience,
No, the whole point of life is being yourself.
Hmm.
And that's why we are called human beings. Na? We are not human doings, but we keep on doing a lot of things and we don't be anything. So otherwise we would have been called human doings rather than human beings. If you just be yourself, if you're trying to do that, you're just trying to be yourself, you're already on the spiritual path. And
I,
everybody is on a spiritual path, no matter what he does in life, no matter if he is actually walking the path or not. See, the greatest myth is that we are human beings seeking a spiritual experience. But if you just turn around this statement, if you look at yourself as a spiritual being in a human experience, So that changes that this paradigm shift will change the whole idea of spirituality.
Mm.
So the moment you say I am a spiritual being, but I am in a human experience, then you understand that I am in this particular lifetime to experience particular things.
Mm.
So that's how it starts. And if you just be, your experience is direct.
Mm.
There is no indirect experience because you do a lot of things in life and experience those things. Uh, the actions have consequences, results, or karma, and karma siddhanta, what we call it. So if you just be, you actually are on the spiritual path. People call themselves human beings, but they are doing everything rather than being human.
Mm.
So that's the problem.
There's this sort of playing devil's advocate. So there's lots of experiences and instances where you will hear people say, and I have been guilty of it as well. Oh no, no, this is how I am. I like eating a lot or whatever. Oh no, this is how I am. I just love my TV serials. So how do you differentiate between that authentic being and these vasanas? Let's say, how do you differentiate that this is just a feeling that's satisfying your senses?
People who live at the level of just satisfying their physical senses, they will never feel what is beyond that.
Mm.
Like you said, I like to eat this or I like to eat that. So that you are just satisfying your physical senses, your taste and smell and things like that. But ultimately, if you look at it very closely, then it is all temporary again.
Mm.
You eat and you forget. Next day again you have to eat to live. So everything here is temporary. There is nothing permanent. You have this and you don't have this. One moment you have this, the next moment it's not there with you. See, similarly, we are trying to find happiness in a permanent way, but the path what we have chosen is not permanent.
Mm.
We are very happy with small things in life, but they also end. They have an end. So what I'm saying by being yourself is you try to find a way which okay, so it satisfies your senses, and that has to be done because you are living this life and experiencing this life. So there are so many experiences you take in this lifetime, in any lifetime, and you are here to experience those things. That's why you have taken birth and come back here again to experience life. So but you don't attach yourself to the things and experiences. The moment you have attachment, everything starts to fall off. Like yeah, I like to eat a mango. Okay. So I ate a mango. I enjoyed the mango, but I'm not attached to it. So even if after the experience is over, I
Mm.
don't sulk.
Mm.
अरे और थोड़े होने चाहिए थे ऐसा.
Mm.
But if you eat just one mango, like you're eating that mango if that mango is the last mango in your life, then you will have a completely different experience. Or you're so engrossed in it, you're so enjoying that mango, then
Mm.
that experience lasts for a longer time. Still, it's an attachment, but it lasts for a longer time. So main thing is like we say, attachments, expectations, and all greed, power, money, and this and all the shadripu. Like
Mm.
those are the things which come out of our emotions or needs and greeds and things like that. So if you don't have a need, you won't have any expectation. If you don't have any expectation, you won't have any attachment. So
Mm.
that's how you have to delete those things from your life one by one. And
Mm.
spirituality is nothing about achieving something. You already are spiritual.
Mm.
It is all about deleting everything else in your life. You have to really empty yourself, like we say, na, you empty yourself and surrender. But it is so difficult to delete so many things in our life which are happening, which are our experiences. And we are so attached to those experiences and those things that we are scared. We really live in fear. So to leave all those or delete all those things from our life.
Mm.
So that is the main fear is the main thing which holds you from releasing all these things.
Shantanda, during your in this sort of whole journey of learning, was there a sense of past lives, and have you always been with Baba? Was there any of this
So
sense,
this
or?
this happened once. I think it was after 4 or 5 years when we started this. I would say a tuition now. started our tuition. So one day I just, gathered some courage and asked him, so Baba, I want to ask you one question. So he said, yeah, I know what you want to ask. That why
Oh,
did I come into your life? I
oh,
said, I
yes.
said, yeah, I mean, I never even prayed to God. I just used to do a namaskar because my mother used to scold me. Then why me? Why मुझे ही क्यों आपने पकड़ा?
Huh.
So he said that you think that I am into your life in this lifetime, but I have been in your life since last 32 lifetimes.
Thirty
I have
life.
held your yeah, and I've held your hand and brought you here, and now is the time to walk the path. That's why I've come and I'm getting things done from you. So that's and see how as a person, my nature has always been like I've never held on to anything since my childhood. Matlab, even when I was playing cricket, I used to be happy when I used to score 100. But I used to be happy when I used to get out on a zero also. So I was never attached to anything. I didn't expect many things from many people or many situations or events. I just used to go through life like, just be in the flow sort of a thing. So maybe I had to start walking this path, and maybe Baba wanted me to, now take this path. My nature in this lifetime is itself like that. So when I was going through a bad phase, even that those 4 5 years, I was like, okay, ठीक है. This phase will also go. So this is not
Hmm.
permanent. This is also temporary. I had that feeling, but I was not able to understand why my nature is like this. But after
Hmm.
going through all this journey, then I started understanding. So I
Hmm.
never held on to anything. I was never angry with anybody. I never resented because I was not selected. One reporter asked me after my retirement in a press conference, you scored so many runs, you scored so many hundreds, but you didn't get selected for India. So that's an injustice on you. So I don't know. It just came out of my mind and I just spoke it. But no, I'm happy with what I did. I'm satisfied with what I did. I scored many runs. I'm satisfied. I did my job. I did what was in my hands. My job was to score runs. I did it. I'm very happy and satisfied about it. If the selectors don't do their job well, that is not my problem. So I was
Hmm.
so cool about it, and it
Hmm.
just came out of my mouth. I mean, there was no intention of saying that,
Yeah.
but that's how my nature was right from the start. So I never even regretted or resented for anything.
This is how I felt through my life, that things have been very cozy for me. I've been looked
Mhm.
after at every level. And also my nature is not, I don't get very easily angry, I don't hold grudges. But then I've never had reason to, things have just been very cool.
Mhm.
I think that then it makes it difficult to, because there's no key to turn you towards spirituality, because when you are really tested, then you turn towards God. Do you find that?
No, but any pain or hurt in your life, which comes to you, that is always an opening towards this path.
Hmm.
I mean, again, you have a choice there. Like you said, you never held any grudges against anybody or isn't. So that time, if you choose to hold grudges, you would never be able to walk this path. Then you have chosen a different thing,
Hmm.
isn't it? You always have a choice on every step of your life. So
Hmm.
I'm very, somebody has hurt me a lot. Somebody has given me a lot of pain in life. Somebody has really, put me down in life and in many situations
Right.
or relationships or anything or, your career or something. But that time, if you keep your calm and if you keep your cool and think about it and you make a proper choice, then you will be on a completely different path rather than having a grudge, resenting about it. That's why I said that this is an opportunity given to you, this pain, this hurt, to
Hmm.
walk the path. That
Hmm.
time you have to understand that what choice you have to take. That's why
Hmm.
we have been given free will to make choices.
What to say, to understand that you have a choice or you have free will, I also think that it is very associated with awareness. And most of
Absolutely.
us are just sleepwalking, most of us are not really,
Oh,
I mean, me included, you think,
yeah.
when you were saying that, you have a choice when you face pain, and I'm thinking, so you have to be very aware at every moment that,
Yeah.
okay,
You have to
now
be
do
very,
I.
very conscious.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that again
Unless,
comes by. practice?
Yeah. I mean, some people have that in their nature, some don't.
Mm.
So, but again, it's a conscious choice. You have to live consciously to understand this. You have to live in that awareness to understand this. That is definitely there. But everybody has that, but nobody uses it. That is the problem.
Mhm.
Everybody is gifted with awareness. Even that person is handicapped or, physically disabled or whatever. Everybody is gifted. But we are so consumed in our daily practical life, day to day life, in this rat race and I want to achieve this, I want to achieve that, I want this, I want that. We completely lose our consciousness in that. We are only thinking from our minds and not from our hearts. The moment you shift your awareness from your mind to your heart, you will understand what choice you have to take. So
Mm.
awareness is nothing but, just coming down from your mind to your heart. If once you are in your heart, then you will always make the right choices.
Mm. Because so long as you're in your mind, you'll be thinking, there'll be thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas as soon as you're in your heart, there's.
You are just being.
Mm.
See, that is the whole difference. When you are in your mind, you are always doing things. When you come down in your heart, you are always being who you are.
So is being, awareness, and love synonymous in this sort of aspect?
Yeah, you might call that. Absolutely, you might call that because ultimate awareness is ultimate love,
Mm.
and being in ultimate awareness is also ultimate love.
Mm.
There is nothing but love. There is
Mm.
only one reality and one emotion, and that is love. Everything else comes out of love and goes back into love. Like we said, everything comes from nothingness, goes back to nothingness. See,
Mm.
it's like a pendulum. You have love on one side, and the moment the degree of love starts to reduce, you will start going to the other side, and that love converts into fear. Fear comes out of love. Why do you fear? Because you love something. Because you're scared to lose something that you love, isn't it? Whatever possessions you have, whatever relationship you fear to lose it. Love is completely about freedom.
Mm.
Love is nothing but freedom. Freedom and love are the same. When we say I love you, that means if you really truly love that person, you're giving that person full freedom to do whatever that person wants to do or
Mm.
wishes to do, because that is his life, his her karma. But what we do is I say I love you and I start expecting from you that you also should love me. The
Ah,
problem starts there
okay.
because
Then
there are so many expectations and attachments in this word called love.
Mm.
And that is not real love. The real love is when you love somebody, you set that person free. It's very easier said, but very difficult to understand and very even more difficult to implement that. Even if you understand that, not many people have the courage to implement that in your life.
Exactly, and that's true for everything. It's difficult to implement it. Yeah.
Mm.
Another thought was that also when you're setting that person free, you're not setting that person free. You're setting
You're
yourself.
setting
Uh,
yourself free.
During this journey with Baba, did you also have the daring to ask him, "Why did you enter my life now? Why didn't you come before?"
No, I never had many questions to like those to ask him basically
Okay.
because I was never. First thing, I never doubted him.
Mm.
Second thing, a very strong belief that I know whatever he is doing for my good.
Mm.
So whatever is happening in my life is happening with his permission and his knowing.
Mm.
So this must be good for me. If things doesn't happen for you, we say that bad things are happening. When things happen for you, you're happy and you say good things are happening. But
Mm.
again, good and bad are labels. These are two labels. These are judgments. Since you are not liking the experience, you are calling it bad. When you
Mm.
like the experience, you call, but experience is an experience. It is not good or bad. The basic principle of experience is the same. We term it as good or bad as per our likings, as per our, expectations and attachments. And so that whole cycle starts again there. We are always judging. We are judging everything in life in every step. ये अच्छा है ये बुरा है ये आदमी अच्छा है वो आदमी बुरा है just because you had different experiences with those persons, isn't it? But we never think about what experience we are giving to that person.
Mm.
So he might have felt the same thing about us, na? कि नहीं नहीं अरे I didn't have good experience, so he will call me bad. That's why I said that love is so important in life. Unconditional love, not just love.
Mm.
When you understand unconditional love, when you understand what love really is, you will never judge anybody. Everything is good. Everything is happening with his own will. That's when you surrender to the higher will. That's when you are there in a surrendered state, I would say, of mind, where you know that everything is going to happen good, everything is happening as per his own will, and everything that is happening is also good. And that's when you really start thinking positively, you start creating positive energy. And then that time you don't have any doubt in your mind that whatever is happening in my life is not for me, sort of a thing.
Also, it seems to be a very fine line between free will, but also what was already meant to be.
There is nothing like this was meant to be. Nothing,
Okay.
there are no coincidences in life. There are no accidents in life. Like we said that day that we meet because we are connected through many lifetimes.
Mm.
And the moment, the time was right for you and me to talk, we met and we are talking right now. It's only about timing. And it's very natural for us to think or, to feel that these things are meant to be and they are happening that way. Because
Mm.
we are not aware about what happens at the higher level of spirituality. There we already plan a lot of things and then take birth.
And again, that we have planned because
Yes,
the,
yes. In this lifetime, I want to experience these things in my life. Like we said, we are from the same soul group. We are always connected in different lifetimes, in different ways, giving and taking different experiences. So we all plan it together that this lifetime I am going to take these experiences. But there has to be somebody else to say that, okay, you want this experience, I'll give you that experience. We all take birth in that way, in those places, at those times, proper times. And everything, even our birth is planned by us. Nothing is an accident. We choose our parents, we choose our situations, we choose our circumstances and places where we want to take birth because we want to experience certain type of life. And that's how we all are connected through that soul group, giving and taking experiences. But once you are aware of this fact, then you have a clarity about how to make choices in your life, how to use your free will to the best possible way. As I said, that is a completely different level of spirituality where it comes from, and you have to be in that awareness all the time to for things to happen in your life.
so in your personal case, Shantanda, are you always aware? Do you find yourself, when we were talking, I remember you said you now have, after so much of practice, the ability of dipping in and out, so to say.
See, awareness, being aware all the time is actually very easy. Like I always say, it's simple yet it's difficult. If you live a simple life, everything is simple really. But we make it difficult because of our choices, because of our options that we take in life, because of our greed, things which we want to achieve in life. So that makes life difficult actually. Otherwise, living a simple life means actually you are living a spiritual life. The more and more uh, simpler life you live, the more and more aware you are about life because you don't have confusion in your mind. You don't have many thoughts in your mind that are today I want to do this, now I want to achieve that, so I want to plan this way, that way. So all the transactional things happen in your mind, you know. So your mind is always transacting. If I do this, what will I get? Where is my utmost benefit? But as I said, when you start coming down to your heart, you start being simple, you're more grounded, you're more humble. And that's where awareness starts to come out of you. It's nothing like you have to achieve awareness from somewhere else. It is already in you. You just have to, go here from here. You just have to. The spiritual journey is traveling down. It is going down from your mind to heart, not from your heart to mind. Because we always think that I don't have this and I want to achieve this. But if you think, like I said, you are
Uh,
a spiritual being in a human experience. If you look at life at this way, then you will always be in your heart. You will never go out of your heart. So all the achievements and the deletions will start happening automatically from your life, which you don't require basically.
What about Shantanda? Just like Shirdi Sai Baba, have you had experiences with other divine beings, other saints?
By Baba's grace, I have also met Shankar Maharaj, Gajanan Maharaj. So he is like my very dear one. So,
Yeah.
so and Swami Samartha also. And
Oh,
last year I was down with COVID actually. In May. After all COVID and things went away, I was down with COVID somehow. And I was isolated in the room for about 15, 20 days. And I had a lot of fever and I also had arthritis in that COVID. So I was really in a very painful state and I was not even able to move from the bed. And one day suddenly, I think it was 7 o'clock in the evening, and that's my usual prayer time every evening, 7 o'clock. So I was lying down and praying, and something happened, some smell, and like a very divine smell, not sandalwood or anything, some different divine smell. So I just opened my eyes a little bit, and I had Sakshat Darshan of Sri Hanumanji.
oh,
So, he was standing right in front of me in
oh
a
my.
white, pure white dhoti with a janeyu and everything. And that time he gave me two mantras and he said, you start reciting these mantras and keep on doing that for your whole lifetime. And
Oh,
see, Baba is Hanuman's avatar, na? So that connection was there. बाकी Sadhguru to Shankar Maharaj, Gajanan Maharaj, Swami Samartha, they are always there.
wow. So you can, when you say they're there, you can have a conversation with them. They're always
No, I
there when
don't have a conversation with them,
but
but
you've had.
whenever required, they come and tell me something, and then I do that. Like Shankar Maharaj, I used to doubt going to Shankar Maharaj Mutt at the Satara Road. There are two temples on Satara Road. On the left side, it's Baba's temple, and on the right side, it's Shankar Maharaj Mutt. So I used to go to Satara Road and stop at a junction at the traffic light, and turning left would take me to Baba's Mandir, and turning right would take me to Shankar Maharaj Mutt. So at that junction, at that traffic light, I don't know what used to happen in my mind. I used to turn right and go to Shankar Maharaj Mutt.
Hmm,
And after reaching there, I used to realize, Arey, I have to go to Baba and I came here. So I was not in that mind that, Arey,
hmm, hmm.
why did I come here? I
Feeling
wanted to
of,
go to
I
Baba.
should have gone to Sai
Okay.
Baba.
It happened for two, three times. एक दिन my friend had come, so I said, Arey, sit behind me on a scooter. I'll take you. तू देख क्या होता है मुझे. I don't know what happens to me, but you
Oh,
just keep an eye. So we went to the traffic light. I started turning right, and he was shouting from behind, "Arey, we have to turn left. We have to turn left." I said, "Chubbet, we are going the right way."
oh,
We
okay,
were ended up at Shankar Maharaj.
right.
So that always, that feeling was there. नहीं
Once you
बाबांकडे
reach there,
जायचंय पण.
oh, I should have
हाँ.
gone there.
So that night after we came back, I was sitting at it was about 11:30, quarter to 12 at night, and suddenly I had a feeling that abhi I have to go to Shankar Maharaj. He
You
is
were at
calling me. I was at home. It was a very strong feeling that Abhi Shankar Maharaj must jana hi hai mujhe. No matter what. And I was very clear in my mind that I have to go to Shankar Maharaj. 12 o'clock I left the house, took a scooter and went to the mutt. So, and
12
I was
night.
not, 12 o'clock at night. So there was nothing in my head. I was not even thinking, would it be open? Would there be anybody or something? I just want to go there. He has called me, so I have to go there. So I went there, I parked my scooter, the main gate was open. Pitch black darkness in the compound. I went to the mandir door was open. I went inside, I went to the Gabhara, as we call it, na? That where Maharaj ki Samadhi hai. So that door was open. And there was only one this lamp which was lit in that Gabhara. And I just put my head on his feet, on his Samadhi feet, and sat in front of him. So there was a sound from Maharaj ki Murti. He said, "काय रे, शंका कसली घेतो? What are you doubting about?" I said, "No, Maharaj, I am not doubting anything." He said, always want to go to Sai, but you end up here. Do you have a problem coming here to me? I said, no, I don't have any problem. He and me are the same. Guru Tattva is the same, na? He and me are the same. Only the roop is different. Like the appearance is different, but we are the same Tattva. So if you go there, if you come here, what's the difference in that? I
Hmm.
said, महाराज गलती हो गई अभी वापस नहीं होगी. So I just said sorry, came out. So मंदिर के at the door there was this old man standing there. He asked me, "हो गए doubts clear? Shall I close the mandir now?" So it
Wow.
was Maharaj Sakshat sat standing there. But
Oh,
I held his feet. I held his feet. Namaskar kiya. I said, "I am very sorry, Maharaj. I will not doubt this again." And then I came back home.
so ever since you turn left or right?
No, no, I go both the directions now. Now what I do is there is Gajanan Maharaj Mutt next to our house, just on the main road. Then there is Swami Samartha Mandir on the same road. So I go to Gajanan Maharaj, I go to Swami Samartha, then I go to Shankar Maharaj Mutt, and then I end up at Sai Baba's Mandir.
Okay, you do
So that's
everything.
like a char dham yatra for me on every
Yes,
Sunday.
yes, yes, Char Dham Yatra. Talking of yatras, Shantanda, you recently went to Adi Kailash. And it was quite a challenging trip. I was just looking at photographs on your Facebook page. Any experiences there?
Baba was always there, right from day one. He was always there. And Baki experiences, I would say that I felt the same bliss as I had experienced when I used to be in meditations. It was the same kind of bliss, and there's some power is there definitely, which which cleanses you there. I mean, you have to be sensitive for that. You have to be in a meditative state and in a very calm state of mind for that. But definitely you get those experiences there. But nothing like I met this guru or that guru or nothing like. It was just a maybe a cleansing yatra for me. More of a cleansing of auras and
So, how important is it for any person to go to these energy places? Maybe be it a temple, be it on a to any dhams, to ancient temples, or like I was teasing you the other day that oh you guys, all you spiritual guys run to to somewhere in the Himalayas. So what's going on? So if you could share it with my audience as well.
You yourself have just been to Kailash Mansarovar, which is the most, I would say, energetic place on earth. That is because Kailash Manas or that area that is supposed to be the Sahasrara crown chakra of the earth. And it starts from there. That's why that place is so magnetic and so energetic. And Himalayas is completely surrounded. I mean, it's the same place. So that energy, dissipates in all the Himalaya region from Kailash Mansarovar.
Hmm.
So whenever you go to Himalayas, you feel a completely different energy than anywhere in the world. The best part of it is that is always a positive energy because all the energy exchange from earth and the space is carried through Kailash, the crown chakra of the earth. So
Hmm.
that's why it's always a positive energy. There are a lot of cleansing happens. Why you should go to all these places is not for not expecting that you will get a darshan or you will get you'll have something in your spiritual life that will enhance your spiritual life or something like that. You go to these places to cleanse yourself, basically, in that energy. The more you cleanse yourself, the more sensitive you become, and the more experiences you have about real awareness in life or consciousness or whatever we call it, you are more conscious to the higher life, I would say. More
So,
of a cleansing, nothing like uh, इसको जाना है उसको जाना है ऐसा कुछ नहीं.
hmm.
Because God is everywhere. If He is there, if He is everywhere, why you have to go to a certain place? But you go to that place because there are the energy field is completely different in that place.
So what if you're not lucky enough to stay near the Himalayas anywhere? Like I'm in Europe, in England.
Hmm.
Are will nature have a similar effect or?
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Like we started with, talking about intention. You just have to have that intent
Hmm.
that I am sitting here. the energy is there, but I invoke that energy to come and cleanse me or whatever you wish for.
Mm.
Everything is depends upon what you intend to do in your.
Mm.
Like we say, na, the steps of creation are thought, word, and deed. First
Thought.
you have a thought. So that's where the intention is. Thought is an intention, na, after all.
Mm.
What your intention is, your thought is according to that intention. That is the first step towards creation. So you have an intent, you create that first step, then you speak the word.
Mm.
Like we have a thought and we speak about that thought, and then we do what we speak.
Mm.
आपण म्हणतो ना जैसे बोले तैसे चाले. तसं चालत नाही कोणी, पण these are the three steps of creation basically. So
Mm.
if you follow those, and if you follow it in a positive way, if you say what you think and if you do what you say, everything will be fine for you. But
Mm.
we think one way, we say other completely different way, and we do again something else. So there is never going to be an alignment in that.
Mm.
So
But
once you align yourself with the higher thought, then everything starts to fall in place.
I mean, we are talking about spirituality, but this is so true for every creation, right? So if I
Yes,
have
yes,
of
absolutely.
creating a picture or whatever, or a project like this, then you think it, you say it, and then start working on it. Wow. Yeah.
And why the world is in such a mess? The main reason is we have a certain thought, we completely say a different word, and we completely do something else.
They're completely different.
So there is no alignment anywhere in this world. That is the mess which we have created in our lives, actually.
So, last question, I think, because you reminded me of intent for the audience, I've said to Shantanda, I'll get carried away. We love this topic of spirituality, and there'll be so many questions popping up. Let's keep an intention of starting wrapping up the conversation around 1.5, 2 hours, and so that's what we were joking about. So, very last question: go with whichever guru that you feel shraddha for. It doesn't matter from all this that we've talked about. The Guru Tattva is the same. Even Devatas, it doesn't matter. They all have Guru Tattva or Devatas are slightly different.
No, it's a completely religious aspect.
Hmm.
See, there is a difference between religion and spirituality.
Hmm.
Two are completely opposite ends. Because religion has rules and regulations. We call it karma kind. So there are do's and don'ts in religion. Spirituality is completely free. It is complete freedom. You experience life the way you wish. So that is the biggest difference in religion and spirituality. So I am not much into religion at all. I am not saying I don't believe that, but it's not my path. So I never ventured into it. Matlab, we have personalized God in religion. Every God is a person. Spiritually, if we say that God has no form, Nirgun Nirakar. God is Nirgun and Nirakar, then why you have personalized that God? So that's a completely different topic altogether. But
But from
uh,
the view of gurus, be it any guru that you're attracted to, the tattva is the same.
yeah, absolutely. Even we all are the same. Our tattva is also the same. What is Atma? Atma is one tattva, isn't it? Which comes from Paramatma. So tattva is, even our tattva is the same, but we are only customized in a particular lifetime to experience particular experiences. Like Guru Tattva is the same, but you have Shankar Maharaj, you have Sai Baba. They are in different forms, different roots. The same is the case with us. We are completely individualized, but the tattva is the same. Atma sabka ek hi hai na. We are different individuals experiencing life in a different way. And when we say that tattva is the same, Atma is the same, the Paramatma is also same. Like Atma comes from Paramatma. Atma tattva comes from Paramatma tattva. And we come from this tattva as an individual. So when we understand this, you just imagine the magnitude or the infiniteness of God experiencing this whole universe in a single moment at the same time in so many different ways. Understand? I mean, you cannot imagine that. God is experiencing everything through us, not just on planet Earth, but every part and every bit of universe. Because that tattva is the same. We look at each other as separate beings. That's why we have problems on earth. When we say we are all one, when we say that oneness is the same in everybody, then you will not hurt anybody else because you are hurting yourself. You are not hurting the other. You are hurting yourself because what goes around comes around.
Mm.
So that's how it works actually. It's absolutely vast. I mean, if we keep on talking, we will end up talking for 8, 9 hours.
I remember the Purush Sukta where they say, where that ultimate Purush has so many eyes. And that's what
Hmm.
perhaps is intended, isn't it? That
Yeah.
the Param Purush is basically
Hmm.
experiencing all
Experiencing everything.
in all, as they say, each of
Yeah.
our gut is that Paramatma. And so
See,
uh,
that's why we say no, the only real moment is the present moment.
hmm,
And that's the only moment where you will find God. You will not find God in the past or not in the future.
hmm,
Whatever is real is the present moment.
hmm,
So if that is the reality, you can imagine God experiencing everything in the same moment through
hmm,
all of us. So that
hmm.
is the magnitude of that whole Leela or play or whatever we call
Is
that.
it possible to even sort of start imagining? You know, it's like what.
Absolutely. I mean, it's beyond the beyond it is. But you can reach that. That's what I'm saying. Anybody can reach that. It's possible for each and everybody. We are just not aware of it. Once you start getting into your heart, you start experiencing those higher things. I have not read all these books or anything or
Because it's part of our pujas, you know, it's almost always the
uh,
puja and the Sri Sukta is chanted.
those are all rituals. If you find happiness in that, you do that. There's nothing wrong in it. But you have to be, you have to love that. You have to find happiness in that. You have to be passionate about it. But that is Sagun Bhakti, as we call it, Sagun and Nirgun. But Sagun Bhakti, uh, you have to go through Sagun Bhakti to understand Nirgun, basically. So that is one step. And once you cross that step, there is only Nirgun. There is nothing else. There is nothingness.
So when you see these sort of some evolved souls who already have come with this knowledge, in your case, you know, Sai Baba helped you through this, but then Sai Baba himself, for example, or when you see these souls, they have done all of this work in lifetimes and now they are like this. So it's not a miracle
Yeah,
like
yeah.
doing.
Everybody has to go through that. Everybody has to go through that. Even I have done a lot of Sagun Bhakti in my previous lifetimes. I asked
Right.
Baba once, yeah,
Okay.
I am not at all interested in this puja part and these rituals and things. So he
Hmm.
said that सब हो गया है वो पिछले जन्मों में सब हो गया है अभी अब हमें निर्गुण में जाना है. Now we have to experience the ultimate reality. That's why you don't find interest in this. So it's not like you have to do this, you don't have to do this.
Hmm.
Again, do's and don'ts comes into
Hmm.
religious or ritual aspects of life. And spirituality teaches you complete freedom. You do what you wish for.
And Sai Baba himself would have chosen to, so his path is therefore to teach others.
Mhm.
And he
Yeah.
must have
Yeah.
chosen to be in
Yeah,
this sort of.
every Sadguru chooses to come back and come into people's life and make them aware of what is and what is not.
Hmm. So do you see yourself as a you are a school, you are a teacher in school anyway, and you head the sports department, but on a spiritual side, is that one of the things that sort of Baba has asked you to do, maybe teach others?
No, nothing of that sort of so far. Matlab, he
Hmm.
has not asked me to do a certain thing or a particular thing. I don't intend to be a guru or a teacher or anything,
Hmm.
and probably it's not my job. But those who come into my contact, those who are interested in these things, I speak to them. I try to, share my knowledge with them. I try to make their paths easier
Hmm.
and try to make them understand what really is and what really is not. I wouldn't say that I want to become a guru or something or.
What I meant is that if Baba hasn't said it, but are you attracted towards helping others? You know, just
Yeah, that is always there. Like we are talking right now.
hmm.
We are conversing. We are exchanging ideas and we are exchanging our experiences. So a lot of people come for that also. It's not that no, people don't.
Hmm.
We have two, three different groups where we keep on, talking, exchanging ideas. Anybody wants a help, I am always there. But I would not go out of my way to poke somebody to, start walking this path.
So I understand that because everybody is on a different sort of journey.
One more thing, everybody is perfect in their own way.
Mm.
That is very hard to believe and understand because, see, we are all on a different level of evolution. Everybody is on a different path. Everybody is on a different level of evolution. So everybody is perfect and everything is happening perfectly at the stage of evolution they are on. See, sometimes we feel that he is doing a bad thing, but उसका level of evolution ही उतना है. So he is doing perfect things as per his stage of evolution. So that's why we say na, ki don't criticize anybody, don't condemn anybody, because we don't know what level of evolution those people are. That's why all the saints and Sadhgurus, they used to preach, be kind to everybody, be compassionate, don't criticize. So that's why they used to say, because they knew everybody is perfect in their own way at the stage of evolution they are in.
But then don't point it out either, because then straight away you think, oh, I'm superior.
Don't point it out, but if you can help, then help it. Help that person. If you have an opportunity to help somebody like that,
Of course.
and if that person is also willing to take help, then why not? No, then you can be the this thing
Medium.
medium to enhance his life.
So for the benefit of the audience, I was just going to say I've twisted Shantanla's arm to do a similar conversation in Marathi, being the mother tongue, and we are hoping our friend Chilpa, through whom I met Shantanda, will join us as well. Then it becomes more of a gappa chit chat, more of a gupshup type of atmosphere. So we are hoping the next part,
And probably maybe we might be able to explain a lot of concepts in much more simpler way and
yes, and a lot of the audience does want a Marathi conversation, so yeah, we are coming up with that, but this was amazing. Mast, Shantanda, maja aali. खूपच छान. But thank you very much for doing this, if you can hear me.